90-Day Fiancé, a tale of love, resilience, and recovery. The soft hum of medical equipment fills the sterile hospital room as dim morning light filters through the blinds. Kalani lies motionless on the hospital bed, her face pale against the crisp white sheets, and 4 drips snakes down her slender arm, delivering vital fluids to her fragile body. Her breathing is steady but faint, a quiet rhythm in the otherwise still room. Dallas sits at her bedside, his broad hands enveloping hers, as if willing his warmth into her skin. The dark circles under his eyes betray the restless nights spent by her side, sleepless and anxious. His lips move in silent prayer, a subconscious plea for her recovery, his eyes locked onto her motionless face, silently begging her to wake up. Then a flicker. Kanani's eyelashes flutter, a delicate yet powerful movement that sends a jolt through Dallas. He straightens instantly, his heart pounding. "Kalani," he whispers, his voice barely more than a breath, afraid that anything louder might shatter the fragile moment. A faint smile plays on Kanani's lips. Her voice, though weak, carries a teasing lilt. "Dallas, you look like you haven't slept." A relieved chuckle escapes his lips as he runs a hand through his disheveled hair. "How could I? Not with you scaring the life out of me like that." Despite her exhaustion, Kalani's dark eyes radiate warmth as they meet his. "I'm tough," she murmurs. "You know that. I'll be okay." Dallas swallows hard, his emotions teetering on the edge. "You have to be," he admits, his voice thick with emotion. "Losing you, it's unthinkable." Their intertwined fingers tighten, a silent testament to their unwavering bond. The morning sun creeps higher, casting a golden glow over the antiseptic room, momentarily transforming it into a haven of warmth and hope. A waiting room filled with worry. In the hospital's waiting area, the air is heavy with a mix of grief and cautious optimism. Dallas paces beside a vending machine, his phone pressed tightly to his ear. His free hand repeatedly rakes through his unkempt hair as he speaks in a hushed but desperate tone. Across the room, Kenny walks in, carrying 2 steaming cups of coffee. Her movements are slow and deliberate, a blend of exhaustion and unwavering resolve in her posture. She strides over to Dallas, tapping his shoulder lightly before handing him a cup. "Here," she says, her voice steady but kind. "You need this more than I do." Dallas accepts the cup with a grateful nod and collapses into a nearby chair. Kenny follows suit, sitting beside him with an unwavering gaze. "How's she doing?" she asks, her tone direct yet laced with concern. Dallas exhales heavily, his grip tightening around the coffee cup. "She's awake," he says, his voice weighted with fatigue. "But she's still so weak. And I feel useless, just sitting here, doing nothing." Kenny places a firm yet comforting hand on his shoulder. "You're not useless, Dallas. Just being here means everything to her." She knows that. A long silence stretches between them, filled only by the distant murmur of doctors and nurses passing through the halls. Dallas stares into the dark liquid in his cup, as if searching for answers. Kenny simply offers him a small, encouraging smile, a silent reminder that he is not alone in this. 2 days later, a brighter dawn. Sunlight spills into the hospital room, its golden glow a stark contrast to the cold sterility of the days before. Kalani sits upright in bed, color returning to her cheeks, her dark eyes filled with renewed vitality. The transformation is subtle but powerful. She is healing. The door creaks open, and Dallas steps inside, a vibrant bouquet of flowers in hand. He pauses in the doorway, drinking in the sight of her sitting up, the life slowly returning to her. Relief washes over his features, softening the hard lines of stress that had settled there. Kalani tilts her head, a teasing smirk curling her lips. Flowers, she muses playfully. That's a bit cliché, don't you think? Dallas chuckles, setting the bouquet on the nightstand before pulling up a chair beside her. Maybe, but you deserve every single cliché in the book. Laughter spills from Kalani's lips, filling the once quiet room with warmth. Without hesitation, she reaches for his hand, their fingers intertwining effortlessly. You've been incredible, Dallas, she says sincerely. I don't know what I would have done without you. He leans in closer, his gaze locked onto hers. You don't need to know, he whispers, because I'm not going anywhere. As their hands remain firmly clasped, the camera pans out, capturing the quiet resilience and deep love that fills the space between them. The hospital's steady hum fades into the background, leaving only the silent but powerful presence of their unbreakable bond. Then, slowly, the screen fades to black. A love tested, a love triumphant. Kalani and Dallas' story is not just one of struggle, but of endurance, devotion, and the kind of love that stands unshaken against the hardest of trials. As their journey continues beyond the hospital walls, one thing remains certain. Together, they are unstoppable.